Good evening and welcome back to C4 Live. Tonight we're going to talk about drug testing, and which is a service that we offer. Most of you probably already know that. Some people get confused with all the different kinds of tests out there and what we can do and what you can't do and what you should do. So we're going to go over a few things tonight. First of all, what type of drug tests are there? Typically in the background check world, you're talking about three kinds of drug tests. You're talking about a 5-panel, you're talking about a 10-panel, or you're talking about a DOT test, which is typically a 7-panel, but with the new regulations, it's kind of an 8-panel, but we'll just call it a DOT test. And that's for your drivers, for your commercial drivers, Department of Transportation drug test. We offer all three. We can do all three for you. The 5-panel basically is your basic drug test. It covers all of the street drugs, and typically that's the most common one that people choose when you talk about getting a pre-employment drug screening. That's what they do, is a 5-panel drug test. The 10-panel covers the first 5, and then it also covers 5 more that are basically more prescription drug based. So if you're searching for something that somebody might have a prescription drug problem, or like going into people's homes and you're fearful of them stealing prescription drugs, something like that, and taking them, then that would be the test you would want to do. And then the DOT is, like I say, kind of a 7 or an 8 panel, and that is the one again that covers your driving tests for all of your commercial drivers, if they're truck drivers or driving a class, whatever your state has for the commercial class in your state, if they're driving those kinds of trucks or vehicles for your business, and they have to have the DOT. Now, we also can do all of the DOT, other parts of it, the paperwork and everything. As of April of last year, there was a lot of new changes in the DOT laws, and we can cover all of those pre-employment type of paperwork needs that you might have with the DOT. So just give us a call and we can go more into that in depth then. But tonight, about the drug screenings, we're going to talk primarily about the 5 and the 10. So if you are in Timbuktu, wherever, how are we going to do a drug screening for you? Well, we are part of a nationwide network that has clinics all over the United States, usually within 5 to 15 minutes of your office location. We can find you a clinic that will do the test and then send us the results. We put them into our system. That is one of the conveniences of it, is you don't have to have 2 different vendors. You can have us as your background check vendor, and at the same time, we will be doing the drug testing for you. So as soon as you put in all of the information for the background check, then you go right into the drug test scheduling module, and the person's name, etc., address, and all that are in there already. And then all you have to do is click on a predefined list that we help you define as far as the clinics that are right there in your area. And then it prints out what we call a passport, and that person, your applicant, you can either hand deliver that passport to them, or you can email the passport to them. They take that to the clinic, and the drug test is done there. The person there scans that passport, and then that goes through our system and right up into your background check results. Same screen and everything. Your background check results will be first, and then right below that will be your drug test results. If you see on there that they're negative, most of the time with a 5-panel screening, those negative results are going to come back within 24 hours. So you'll be able to see that on there. If it is non-negative, what they call it, they don't call it positive right away, but what they call it is a non-negative test, then that has to go to who is called an MRO, a medical resource officer, and the actual sample, drug testing sample, is shipped to that MRO, wherever they might be located across the United States, in usually a regional area from you, and then it is shipped to them. They test it over and over 3 different times to validate the test and everything. And then if at that point they prove that it is a positive drug test, they call your applicant. They attempt to call them 3 times and touch base with them. And they make sure at that point that they're not on any prescription drugs or haven't taken anything even over the counter that might have tripped up the test a little bit or shown what they call a false positive. That's really they haven't done a drug, but they have that particular chemical in their body from something else. So that's what the MRO discusses with them, talks about with them, etc. If indeed it is found that, yes, they did take that drug, they put it in the system as positive, and with the percentage of the drug amount in there, that's in your results, and then you'll be able to make the employment decision based upon whatever your policy is for your business. So let's talk about that a little bit. What happens if it's legal in your state and they test for marijuana? Well, that is up to you and your business and your policies as far as how you want to handle that. As more states come on board with a positive or allowing marijuana use in the state, more companies are beginning to switch their drug testing policies, and some companies are allowing the use of marijuana and not making an employment decision based upon that. So maybe they don't allow it at work, but if you test positive for it, that's not a disqualifier for your employment per se, something like that. So we've been contacted by some companies asking, hey, can we change this? Can we do this? So here's a couple of options for you. You can do that now, where you can go ahead and just disregard the marijuana use on the test if it comes out positive, or you can actually now, there is a test that you can take out marijuana out of the test, and the test won't even test for marijuana. It'll just test for 5 other street drugs on a 5 panel. So that is an option. So again, give us a call. We can talk to you about that. We'll tell you about those things and all of that. On the nationwide network, like I say, we pick 2 or 3 clinics that are around your area. You send the person to those, and then they go to that clinic, and then, like I say, the results come back to you. That's about the coverage as far as the 5 and the 10 panel. The DOT, like I said, has a little bit more paperwork and gets a little bit more complicated, so give us a call and we can explain that. Drug testing is a great option for you. Like I say, it's a great add-on to your background check packages. If you want to talk to us about that or want to add that, have some questions about it, again, feel free to give us a call and we'll be glad to explain. Other than that, have a great week, and we'll see you right back here next week. Thanks so much.